Hello, Dan. So I've been watching you for a while now, and I've learned a lot, and I am in agreement with a lot of what you say, but some I'm not, but whatever. My question is this.
All right, let's see it.
How does the New Testament and Christianity have any validity whatsoever when it appears it really goes against everything in the Torah and the prophets?
So if having validity means there is univocality and there is real fulfillment of actual true prophecy, then none of the Bible is valid because it is characterized more by multivocality than by univocality. And where there is agreement, it's usually just because somebody is adopting some aspect of their literary heritage because it continues to serve their needs and their interests and to make that heritage meaningful and useful to them. The majority of later generations, however, are negotiating with everything that came before, and they're reinterpreting it. And what we have in the New Testament is a cross-section of a specific stream of interpretive tradition that would turn into Christianity, and it would diverge from the mainstream of Jewish tradition that would later become Rabbinic Judaism and the other variations on what we understand as Judaism. But those Jewish folks in the first century CE who would move into the tradition that would become Christianity did not interpret the Hebrew Bible in a way that wildly diverged with the tradition. That was just one of the different interpretive traditions in the first century CE. And when it comes to real prophecy, there are absolutely no data anywhere that indicate anything anywhere in the Bible is a real prophecy or fulfills a real prophecy. So that's not a real standard that really has any validity within critical scholarship. The Bible is not univocal. It is multivocal. It's a collection of texts written by people operating within specific social circumstances, negotiating between their literary heritage, their needs and their exigencies within their social circumstances, and their goals for the future. And sometimes there is consistency, but more often there is inconsistency in the ways that those negotiations go.
What there is, though, is a lot of evidence coming forward that Josephus actually had a hand in writing the New Testament with the Romans to subdue the Jews at the time.
No, that evidence is incredibly weak and is rejected by the overwhelming majority of scholars. It is a fringe conspiracy theory.
We have the whole 16 crucified saviors that came before Jesus that all seem to have the exact same story as Jesus.
This is another fringe conspiracy theory that is rejected by the overwhelming majority of scholars, and the notion that there are 16 crucified saviors with the exact same story as Jesus is entirely made up. There is not one single figure from before the life of Jesus of Nazareth who could plausibly be described as a crucified savior who had a story at all similar to Jesus's.
So it seems to me that the Romans took these 16 crucified saviors, rolled them all up into one, took Josephus, who changed his name to Flavius Josephus because he was working with the Flaviuses, and then created the New Testament that has duped millions of people over time.
Again, this is a fringe conspiracy theory that is rejected by the overwhelming majority of scholars and is not supported by any real data. And the fit for this video has been the goddess Aurora Monroe, also known as Storm.